Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Light on the Word and to the Divine Marriage Relationship, the conversation about the Divine Marriage Relationship. Please pardon my non-traditional attire. I usually have a tie on and bow tie because I'm actually one of the last of the Gospel Fathers who lived in the 20th century, now ministered in the 21st century, so sometimes I keep that particular attire on. But I feel good wearing this today because this is an Indian blanket that my wife bought me. I bought her one, she bought me one. We were traveling on a trip and she bought it for me. And we bought the Indian jackets, and then she bought me this hat from Paris when she was in Europe. And so I'm just wearing these because I'm kind of feeling a little bit about her right now. And so I'm going to share with you today from the Word of the Lord and from my talk about her today. And our scripture in Ephesians chapter 5, husbands love your wives as Christ loved the church and gave himself for it. And today I want to talk about my wife's, I want to talk about loving her, and I want to talk about her voice. What kind of sermon is that? Anyway, that's what I want to talk about. I want to talk about her voice. Okay, and that's the name of my topic today, is her voice. When I was looking at my wife, and I look at her and I admire her beauty. I admire her beauty. I admire her smile. I love how she dresses. And with that, she just overwhelms me to look at her. And and sometimes I look at her and I say that I want to make sure that I love her not simply because she's beautiful, but I want to love her because of her intrinsic values, her inner qualities. And I think I got it. I think I really love her because of her inequalities. I mean, I just love her, everything about her, and just romantically in love with her. And she's so attractive. And then her smile, and then when I look in her eyes, I just melt. Yesterday I was leaving, and I was getting in the car, and she was standing out there, and I drove up and pulled the car up a little bit where she was standing with the grandkids and everything. They were getting out of the car coming from a track meet, my grandson Travis. And I just pulled the car up just to simply look at her. I told her I'm going to the store. But I just drove up there. I just wanted to look at her one more time. It's almost like if you have a good bowl of ice cream or a good drink or something good, just before you walk, I just get one more sip of that. One more teaspoon of it and one more, sip of it, So I just had to do one more look in her eyes, And so the way she looks, and the way she looks to me, and her eyes, and her, it's so overwhelming. It's so, it is so rich and wonderful. She's such a sight to see that I said, I'm going to have to check myself. Now, some of you may feel that this is an unnecessary experiment. I told her, I said, I want to make sure that I love you. There was a song they used to sing, beauty's only skin deep, hey, hey, hey. But I want to love her deeper than, and I want to be turned on deeper than the beauty, the shape, the eyes, the beauty. I mean, she is one of the finest things on this earth. I mean, I got the finest, you know. I'll tell you something. I mean, she's so fine. When we went home yesterday, last night, and I was the last one closing the door. I closed the door, and I closed the door and yelled outside my door, "Eat your heart out, fellas. She's mine." Then I locked the door. What I was saying was that all of those men who could have married her years ago, you know, all of those of you who admire her, I know she's just admirable. I know it, you know. She's mine. So eat your heart out, fellas. She's mine. She's so beautiful, okay? So, but what I decided was I told her, sometimes we have these early morning talks. I said, you know something, I'm going to do something. I am going to blindfold myself. I'm going to blindfold myself, and then I'm going to try my best to enjoy you blindfolded. I said, now I'll have to walk around out because you just knocked me out with your looks. You mean, you just got me. You got me. You're fine. Oh. So I said, I'm going to have to do something about that. I'm going to blindfold myself. I said, what I want to do when I blindfold myself is I want to focus on your voice. I want to focus on your voice, and when I focus on your voice, I'm going to know that that is another reason why I love you. It's just your voice. I love you because your looks. I love you because your personality. Then I want to love you for your voice. You know, my grandson was talking about bats the other day, and we were talking about bats, and he said, but bats can't see. But you know something? A bat can't see, but a bat has a real strong sense of feeling. Probably a real strong sense of feeling, like a radar. They have like a radars that they can detect things with their radars. And so even though the bats can't see, the radar can feel. And so I want to be like a bat. I want to be able to feel. I want to feel her, but not see her. And I want to experience her voice. I just told her voice is awesome to me. So in this blindfolded condition, to where I close out the beauty of her, I told her, I just want to listen to your voice, go off your voice. And when I close out and do that experiment, what I'm going to hear is, I'm going to hear the voice of the woman who tells me that she loves me without seeing those eyes that butter me down. It's just going to be in the feeling in the voice. The feeling in the voice. I'm going to hear the voice of the woman who I hear praying day and night. The woman who prays for me. I'm going to hear that voice. And I'm going to remember all of the prayers. I'm going to hear the voice of the woman who guided and cared for my children, you know, who corralled my children. I'm going to hear the voice of that sweet preaching lady with that awesome soft voice that gets stronger as she enters into her ministry. I'm going to hear that voice. I'm going to hear the voice of the lady who prays and speaks in tongues and helps people to receive the Holy Ghost. I'm going to hear that voice. I'm going to hear the voice of the woman who comforted me and we talked together when we lost our daughter. I'm going to hear the voice of the woman who talks with me late at night in times of crisis. I'm going to hear that voice when the church is in crisis, or when our family's in crisis, or we're in crisis. That voice, and then with all that wisdom and understanding, that's the voice I'm going to hear. I'm going to hear the voice that I heard in the hospital room when she bore our children, and the crying. That voice. Oh, come hold me, Larry. Hold me. I'm going to remember that. I'm going to remember that voice. I'm going to never forget it. That's the voice. The voice that was over the phone. We recorded almost a year long distance. And all I had then, even though I had a picture of her, was that voice. Oh! My God! I didn't have her body around every day for me watching her shape and all that kind of stuff, and thank God I didn't. The Lord knew what he was doing. But it was her voice every night. Her voice during the daytime when she called me, see me off to work on the phone. Then at night, we would talk about how the day went, what happened in her church, what happened in my church, what her pastor said, what my pastor said, the very scriptures we discussed. We were on the phone, ran up hundreds of dollars in long distance back in them days. You didn't get long distance free. Back then, we paid for it, but it was hundreds of dollars. I was just that voice. Woo! Hello, Elder Brown. Hello, how are you? Oh, I'm doing fine. Sister Tanya Brown, how are you doing? I just came in from church. I said, oh, you a church lady. She said, oh, yes, I love church. And I remember her saying that. That was 30-some years ago. And talking about how she loved church and the things that were going on about Brother McCoy and Elder Shaw and Elder John Thomas and the various ones, Sister Kay and this one, and the choir had practice. And we were in our council this week with Bishop Red, and we had a wonderful time. And oh my God, I'm just sitting there listening to her. And I couldn't hardly wait for that courtship period of time to go by. Then she had a little picture. I would look at the picture. But that voice, that's the voice that she has today. She has, and when I'm blindfolded, I'm going to hear that voice. Yes, I'm going to hear the voice of that day when we met in Milwaukee, Wisconsin at a national young people's convention. And I was sitting in a seated area in the Mecca Auditorium, and she walked past. I said, whoa, whoa, y'all think I got big eyes now? Whoa, woo. She gonna walk past. I said, like a radar. You see that? Man, she was fine. Whew. But she walked past, then she came back around. I said, here she comes again. And the seat next to me in this big auditorium, I don't know, it may have been 5,000 or 10,000 people. I don't know how many. But the seat was vacant. And she walked and said, is that seat taken? I said, no. I can't remember whether somebody was sitting there and had to go to the restroom. Well, no matter what it was, it wasn't taken. You could sit there. We started a conversation with that voice. And we have been talking ever since that time. And I've been listening to that wonderful. I don't know her voice anywhere. I know if she comes in the building, I know it. I remember one time I was in a conference, and there's a lot of people in the conference, and I said, my wife's not here, and I can tell whenever she gets here. It's just something about her I can tell. Okay, she's here. I can tell when she's in the building. This was a place that seated about 1,500 people, and I could tell when she's in the building. She hadn't made it yet, and I knew, but hearing her voice in a lobby, and someone said, "That's the sound of my baby," or even her voice as we travel together and she's talking to me. That's the sound of my baby. That's the sound. That's her voice. I want to hear her voice. And I love her by all of the things, all of the memories that I experience when I hear her voice. And I'm so glad she's still here. We there's almost a whole new generation in town from when we were, when we first were married. Our parents are gone. Our pastors are all gone. But her voice is still here. And I just want to hear her voice. Her voice is magnified if I close my eyes And all of those memories, all of what she's done, all of how she stuck with me, all of how she talked to me. Oh, cherish the voice of your wife. Men, cherish the voice of your wife while you have your wife. We had dinner with a minister just last week, and he was talking about how he lost his wife. This minister was 80 years old. How he lost his wife and she was only 49. She didn't even make it to 50 years old. And how like there's a song that says, "If I can only hear my mother pray again, that would mean so much to me." I'm sure if he can only hear his wife's voice again. And so every day I hear a voice, I am thrilled. I love her immensely. And she loves me. And I love to hear her voice when she says, "I love you." And I'm sure she loves to hear my voice when I say, "I love you." I tell you, I keep asking her to please forgive me for just always in her face and telling her I love her and always complimenting her and always. I said, I just don't want to be overbearing. And then she tells me in that voice, she says, "You're not overbearing." She says, "I want this to last for life." I said, "Thank you for accepting me. I just love to hear your voice." She says, "I love you." She said, "Oh, baby. Oh, baby, I love you." Woo! I got the goods. I just thank God for it. I thank the Lord because I believe the Lord made this woman for me. I waited a long time working in the ministry. Before I got married, I was almost 28 years old. But the Lord blessed me for waiting. A lot of my friends had been married for a long time by then. But the Lord blessed me for waiting and gave me the finest woman in the world. And so she's not here right now, but she's on her way. But I was just sitting here and I just wanted to talk and share with you, brothers. Can you identify your wife's voice anywhere? Do you know what it sounds like over the phone? I'm sure you do. Do you know that voice that you hear when you and your wife are alone in your bedroom at night and you're talking? You remember that voice? You know that voice. The voice of her comfort. How she comforted me when my parents died, when my daughter died. She comforted me. We comfort one another. That voice that you hear is the voice of your one that loves you. So, husbands, maybe you do the experiment. Blindfold yourself and then just let her talk. When I do this experiment, I'm going to walk through the house. I'm trying to find my way around. But I'm just trying not to look at this woman. Try not to look at this woman because she will just blow your mind. And this is what I'm saying, but will blow your mind with her looks. And you trying to do a test on the voice. That's why the blindfold. The blindfold is to let me go into nostalgia, romantic nostalgia of all of the things that she said and all the places we've been and all the things that we've come through together when she spoke with her voice. So, I love her dearly, and this sermon today is her voice. I want to hear her voice and reminisce on all of the good things in our life that she said with her voice. God bless you. Thank you for listening in today. Husbands, try to hear her voice and see how pleasant it is. Then tell her, honey, there's no voice like your voice. And I'm so glad your voice is here. God bless you and keep you.